The Public Investment Fund is the sovereign wealth fund of Saudi Arabia. It is among the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world with total estimated assets of at least $500 billion. It was created in 1971 for the purpose of investing funds on behalf of the government of Saudi Arabia. It has been characterized as among the least transparent sovereign wealth funds in the world. In 2016, the Wall Street Journal noted that none of the fund's investments were named. The organization's activities have stirred controversy due to its relationship with the Saudi Arabian government and its human rights record. The Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund was established in 1971 by Royal Decree M. 24 with a stated intent to provide financing support for projects of strategic significance to the national economy. For much of its history, the PIF was a passive entity that oversaw the Saudi state's equity in listed firms when neighboring petro-states began using their sovereign wealth funds for influence. Saudi Arabia followed them. The PIF expanded its staff from 50 in 2015 to nearly 500 in 2018. In July 2014, the Council of Ministers granted the PIF authority to fund new companies inside and outside the Kingdom, either independently or in cooperation with the public and private sectors, without the Council's prior approval. In March 2015, oversight of PIF was moved from the Ministry of Finance to the Council of Economic and Development Affairs. As part of this process, a new PIF was appointed, chaired by Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman Al Saud. Following these changes, the board says the fund is intended to manage a broader portfolio of current and new assets, ensuring that it is aligned with the government's Vision 2030. The aim is to diversify government resources in the economy and to help unlock strategic sectors. To bolster the resources of the PIF and help in the financing of investments into foreign companies, such as Uber and Tesla, the PIF received cash from the Saudi Central Bank, issued debt, and benefited from the proceeds of the privatization of Saudi state assets. PIF has been characterized as among the least transparent sovereign wealth funds in the world. In 2016, the Wall Street Journal noted that none of the fund's investments were named. According to Stefan Hertog, a professor at the London School of Economics, the PIF is seen as opaque, a black box. Few know what's going on there, including sometimes other government ministries, as the PIF is a ministry-operated company with an overwhelming focus on domestic investments. Some scholars characterize it as a quasi-sovereign wealth fund. A 2021 report by Global SWF found that PIF's governance, sustainability and resilience team, beginning in 2015, the PIF began making a number of high-profile investments, including acquiring a 38% stake in South Korea's POSCO Engineering and Construction Co. in July 2015 and establishing a sizable fund with French firms in October 2015. In June 2016, the PIF acquired an approximate 5% stake in Uber for $3.5 billion. In 2016, SoftBank Group and the PIF announced that they would establish a SoftBank Vision Fund which aims to invest up to $45 billion over 5 years in the tech sector. The SoftBank Group confirmed that during the fiscal year 2019-2020, the Vision Fund, in which Saudi Arabia invested $45 billion, incurred a loss calculated at $17.7 billion. After the value of investments was written down, the losses were related to the investments in WeWork and Uber Technologies Inc. In 39-year history of SoftBank, the Saudi Arabia-backed funds paid the group its worst-ever losses, where the overall company losses were 1.36 trillion yen. In March 2016, it was announced that ownership of Saudi Aramco would be transferred to the PIF and that the Kingdom will seek to list 5% of Aramco's shares by 2017. On the 20th of May 2017, during the Saudi-US CEO Forum which was part of President Donald Trump's official trip to Saudi Arabia, the Public Investment Fund announced plans to invest $40 billion in infrastructure projects, mostly in the US, Saudi Arabia, which is working to diversify its economy, entered into business deals with General Electric, Lockheed Martin, and the Blackstone Group. Blackstone, whose CEO and founder, Stephen A. Schwarzman, is a top supporter of Trump, entered into a non-binding memorandum by which the PIF committed $20 billion to the project. During the CEO Forum, US-Saudi arms deals were announced, including a pledge to assemble 150 Lockheed Martin Black Hawk helicopters in Saudi Arabia, representing 450 jobs in Saudi Arabia, as part of the $6 billion deal for Black Hawks. PIF owns Qiddiya, spearheads the Red Sea project for luxury beach resorts, and owns the closed joint stock company named NEOM. PIF owns a 5.7% stake in concert distributor Live Nation. In 2020, PIF purchased minority stakes in major U.S. companies including Boeing, Facebook and Citigroup. PIF disclosed a $713.7 million